Good morning. So I think we all owe Anne another round of applause for a great presentation. Yeah, I think that was a great job of putting some structure around all the issues that we have around AI, what to consider, what to look forward to in the future, and how to move forward. So as we talk about AI and look at all the cool things that are going on, the first question that comes to us is, what resources do we have? What can I use? How can I learn about it? So that's what this session is going to be about. So we have a panel, distinguished panel, that can talk to you about what resources are available right now, what's free, what's at cost, and what training resources and support do we have. So I have Tron Compton-Engel, our Senior Director of Client Experience from UTech. Tina Ostroik, our AVP of Teaching and Learning Technologies, also from UTech. And Jen Green, Associate University Librarian with the Calvin Smith Library. So they're going to give you an overview of what we have, and we'll kick it off with Tron.
Hi, everyone. I'll be as quick as I can. I think it's a great follow-up to Anne's presentation because it's really about what's available to you now and maybe a little preview of what's coming. So we'll do a little bit of both, but I'll get started. So this is, I think, something that Anne addressed too, but just a reminder, always be careful about what you put into generative AI because it could be exposed publicly. So just be mindful of that. We'll talk about some services that we have with some data protection that are already available to you and what might be developing there over the coming months. So what services do we have available to faculty, staff, students that have no additional charge? They're just freely available to you. The first one I think to highlight is Microsoft Copilot. So this is a generative AI chatbot offered by Microsoft. It actually, under the hood, uses OpenAI's models. So it uses ChatGPT-4 and ChatGPT-4 Turbo. So if you're using OpenAI, it's very similar to that, but actually it uses the more recent models compared to the free version of OpenAI. You can see the website here. You log in with your university email address and passphrase. The good thing about Copilot, it's a protected service. So what does that mean? Your chats with it are encrypted, both while you're in transit and at rest, and also it's anonymized. So actually, we don't see those chats. Microsoft doesn't see those chats. Unfortunately, it is not like HIPAA compliant. It is protected, but we don't have an assigned agreement with Microsoft around those kind of protections. But it is anonymized. It is encrypted. So it is much safer to use than, say, a free service. Zoom has AI features built into it. So it's called AI Companion. You can log into this URL that we have here on the screen and turn on the AI features for Zoom. It does things like summarize meetings, or it can even, if you join a meeting late, you can ask it like, hey, catch me up, right? So those features are available right now. Adobe Express, we recently signed a new contract with Adobe. Adobe Express is a web-based sort of photo editor, video editor, PDF editor, and it has generative AI features such as creating images from text. It also allows you to do like generative fill for images, like maybe changing the background of an image. That's available to everybody on campus right now. So what are some services that are available that do have some additional fees? We have GitHub Enterprise Copilot. This is Microsoft's code developing platform, code repository. Copilot lets you have a chatbot that helps you assist with coding. There is a monthly fee for this, but that is available to the campus if you're willing to pay for the monthly fee. We also have access to some sort of web server-based type AI services, Azure OpenAI, AWS Bedrock, and SageMaker. These obviously do have fees, but if you have a project that might benefit from those, you can reach out to us. I'll talk about how to do that at the end of this presentation. So those are available for things like faculty research. What are some things that we're actively testing right now? They haven't really been released yet, but maybe these would be in the coming soon category. We are looking at custom copilots or custom chatbots for the campus. So, chatbots that are grounded in campus data that can maybe answer questions about a particular school, a particular program, the university as a whole. These are in development. So again, none of them are released publicly yet, but hopefully maybe starting as early as the summer, you'll start seeing these released on campus. We are testing Copilot for Microsoft 365. This is the service from Microsoft that lets you interact with Office, so your documents in, say, SharePoint and OneDrive. We are testing this, and we may release this to the campus on a paid basis. So you would pay for a subscription if we find it, to be sufficiently useful. We have launched a protected AI portal. This is really a development portal. It's not really production ready, I would say. We used it for the Promptathon on Monday and Tuesday. You can see the link here. So this is university. It's walled within the university. Again, anything that you chat with this portal does not, get used in training data. If you want to mess around with it, you can certainly do that. The idea is we'll launch a more capable portal in the future, maybe a portal that really, meets some compliance standards such as HIPAA that can be used in research. So again, we're working on that currently and hope to have something much more capable released in the future, hopefully in the near future. And finally, Google has a service for Google Workspace, interacts with your typical Google apps like Drive, Gmail, right? Honestly, it's not great. It's not worth the money. I'm just going to be fully honest here. So I don't think we'll be releasing this one now because everyone would be disappointed. But it could be great tomorrow, right? You never know with these things. Tomorrow, maybe Google will make it awesome. So we're keeping an eye on that. We have licenses, so we see it develop over time. And if it becomes awesome, then we will definitely make it available to the campus on a per-user subscription basis. So where can you find out more? Or I probably didn't give you time to write down all these URLs. We do have a UTech AI webpage now where you can go and find out more, get some of the URLs for these services, and start experimenting. Also, we do have a group in UTech that can consult with you. Maybe you have a research project, right? And you want to know, hey, what would be the best service to use here? You can see how you can reach out to us and we can have like a cross-functional team meet with you, talk about our services, and help you figure out what might be the best way forward. And also, we have a link here to a slide on sort of different chatbots, and there's pros and cons, which ones the university makes available. We'll get that up on the AI webpage that we have so that you don't have to dig for it. So that will, I'll get that updated on our AI webpage so that you can easily find that. You can just go to that top URL and get to that matrix. So that is, I believe, all I have. And I'm going to turn it over to Tina.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the suggestions that came from the AI task force in terms of training and development and what we're currently working on and some suggestions for how to move forward with that. So as we talked about, this event was structured around the task force and the recommendations. So one of the things we talked about was providing basic AI literacy across campus. And we want to make sure we're meeting everybody where they are. And while we do have team members who are really digging into this, we know that this is an evolving field and we're all going to be learning together. So there is an opportunity for faculty, staff, and students to find ways to work together on some of these things. Some of the things that were recommended that have already been implemented are lunch and learns. We're working on asynchronous training, and learning communities were also brought up. Your campus stakeholder support centers, which include UTech, USite, the library. Jen's going to be talking about the library, the Baker Nord Center, ThinkBox. We're all going to be collaborating together to find opportunities to work with faculty and students and staff. So some of the things that we're planning to launch this summer. What happened? What'd I do? Sorry. So Anne talked a little bit about an Auburn course of training, and several people went through this course together, including Maureen and Jeff and people from, the support centers. And so we looked at what was best about that course and some of the recommendations to maybe change some things. So we are currently working on a shorter version of that course, and we're going to be releasing that in July. And that will, again, be an opportunity for people to get just some of the very, very basic training for faculty and those who support faculty to get some really basic training, but we will be looking to get input on that. We eventually want to develop a deeper curriculum around AI so that those who want to go deeper in can, do different courses that apply to them and their disciplines, but just also just a little going more in depth than this initial course. So look for that. Indra, who is here, he did one of the lunch and learns on sort of basics and prompting. He's going to do that same session this afternoon, but shortened. He's also going to record that session, and we're going to make it available to everybody so that if you know colleagues who can't come to these sessions, he's going to produce a video on that one. We are also thinking about additional AI exploration sessions in the summer, but we really need to gauge interest from faculty and who wants to be available to do those things. All of those things, though, will help us think about the fall and what truly to launch in that time. So again, the campus support centers who I already mentioned, we're going to be working with the leadership to figure out what are the things that we should really be focusing on for the fall. So some of the anticipated things, again, just based on the input that we've received and some of the things I know about. I know USite is planning a lot of additional faculty conversations around how faculty are using AI, how to approach the use of AI in their courses. KSL and Jen will be talking about this. They have a number of things they're planning that are focused on faculty, staff, and students to make sure that students have the information literacy tools that they need. And we're also thinking about things like the Baker Nord Center has brought up a really great idea about coming up with ways for faculty and students to actually learn together. So Michelle Berger is not here, but that's something that she's brought up, which is a really great idea. And again, as I mentioned before, we're going to be looking to develop more asynchronous training for faculty and thinking about the workshops that should accompany those so that people actually have a chance to practice and build community together. So keep in touch, I think, with Jeff, and that's probably the best way to keep in touch to know what's going to be coming. But at least in July, keep an eye out for the training courses, the asynchronous, and we'll kind of go from there. So with that, I am going to exit out and ask Jen to do her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hello. Good morning. So I'm here to talk about what the library's been doing to prepare for incorporating generative AI into our information literacy instruction and how we assess students and faculty as they seek information throughout the research life cycle. So some current things to consider. KSL has been working, we've been busy at work over the last year helping ourselves as librarians become more and more AI literate so that we understand what we are talking about and how to incorporate it into the information seeking process. And so part of that has been to internally develop KSL guidelines around our own use and exploration so that we are supporting the staff and having an AI forward philosophy in terms of how we as librarians and staff are approaching AI and our own understanding of it. And then through that, we are learning more and more about some of the things that you should be considering right now. The issue of textbooks came up in the previous presentation, and so one of the things that we can say now is, well, for sure, unfortunately, copyright is never a one-size-fits-all answer. We do have a scholarly communication and copyright librarian, at KSL, and she is really available to consult and assist on all copyright questions. And in the case of AI, there's some similar things in that you may have questions about textbooks and articles and other types of contents that you might want to ingest into AI. And when you have questions about that, we have librarians, not only our ScholComm librarian, but all of our librarians are there to help navigate those questions. And sometimes the responses are, it depends. We need to learn more about what the material is and what the type of use is. And so through that process, we're keeping our eye on, how our licenses with our content that we purchase through the library are changing or adapting to the integration of AI. So you will have a lot of questions, and we encourage you to reach out to us about those. But to safely say, and this is true for, copyright in the use of information overall, consider materials that are already in the public domain as you're incorporating them into the use of AI tools. And those might be open access materials, and we're here to help you find those types of things and answer those types of questions too. We just encourage you to remind students now and going forward about some of the limitations and ethical considerations of AI, and those are concepts that we'll be incorporating into our fall library instruction. And to also think about using information literacy modules within your syllabi. The library has instruction hub, and we have modules about information literacy and how to evaluate sources and understand the use of materials in research, and we'll be adding more AI related modules to that as well. So the library already we've been talking a lot about AI literacy, the library and the way that librarians interact with students when we teach library resources is through an information literacy framework that already exists within the profession. And so our work this summer is to develop and redevelop our information literacy training and teaching so that we are incorporating the use of AI within that framework model. And that model really addresses key things that we think about when we are investigating questions, and that's the importance of evaluating our content and sources, taking into consideration that there may be inaccuracies or biases within the sources, and that's something that we're seeing as a common theme when we're talking about generative AI or tools that generate content through AI, and transparency and showing value and credit through citation. And so again, our information literacy teaching that we are already doing will be pulling in examples and specific guidance on how to think about generative AI within that framework. So some specific resources and tools for the fall. We are investigating some tools that we can purchase through our collections budget to help support the research, the finding process. So CITE is one of those tools, and this is a tool that would search for content in published journals that we have the license to search, and bring back sources with summaries and also direct citations to those sources. So we're investigating that one right now. Another one that's similar is Elicit. We're just getting into conversation with that. And those are tools that if we can acquire them through the library, they would be free for students, faculty, and staff to use, just like the other databases in a way are free. Other than that, we pay for them through the institution. We're also looking at what's developing within the databases and journals and publisher products that we currently subscribe to. So, for example, we're seeing AI tools appear in JSTOR and Elsevier resources, and this summer is really going to be a focused time of making sure we understand where those tools are appearing and how they function within each of the databases, so that we're prepared in the fall to teach that to students and faculty as well. Mentioned that we're incorporating information literacy into and AI together into our already existing framework. But we have a digital scholarship team who is investigating the implementation of generative AI tools within some of our digital scholarship resources. So, for example, ArcGIS there's some generative AI abilities merging within that tool, and we have a research data librarian that can help navigate some of those new things within tools that we already provide. And then probably hopefully most helpful and most able to be integrated with the course that Tina was talking about. We're working right now on generative AI and libraries research guide, which would be available with all of our other research guides for the fall for students to use within our own instruction, but also for you to include in your syllabi and use as a framework to help guide how you might lead students to the library for assistance with their generative AI questions. And then some programming that we're looking forward to this fall. Because we've been doing so much of our own investigation on how AI is integrating into libraries, and there's a lot of discussion about this within the library profession. We're hoping to bring in some speakers and have panel discussions with outside speakers to help ignite and engage the conversation as we have it here internally, but collaborate with colleagues outside of Case Western. We're planning for an exploration day of generative AI in libraries, and this would be a day where we can bring in librarians who have been engaged actively in utilizing generative AI tools within their teaching and research to talk about what they've been doing and how to apply that within the classroom, but also collaborating with teaching and learning technologies to bring in speakers from throughout the campus to provide more examples of what's going on in this space. And hopefully have some discussion around these topics as well. The Friedman Fellowships is an opportunity that we've had for some time out of the Kelvin Smith Library, and this year we are really encouraging applications that explore generative AI in a digital scholarship project. And our fellowships are open to faculty and students, and the application for the fellowships are currently open for the upcoming year. And we encourage you, if you have questions or if you know of somebody who may have an interest in funding for a digital scholarship project, particularly in generative AI, reach out to us. We can help consult on that. And then just generally, we'll continue, as we always do with all of in libraries, as technology changes, our approach and our practice, and we have to pivot constantly in how we respond to that technology. And so we will continue to do that and keep our finger on the pulse, as they say, and work to build awareness about generative AI in the research process. That's all I've got.
Okay, I think we have time for a couple of questions before we move to the next session.
I have a question about the Friedman Fellowships that you mentioned. So what kind of projects do you think, are you maybe looking for, or what do you mind maybe saying a little bit more about that?
Sure. So our Friedman Fellowship projects are pretty open and open to creativity, and typically the projects need to have some sort of digital technology that is incorporated within the research process, whether that's data visualization or data analysis or mapping. And so when it comes to generative AI, it's a really great question. I think that the opportunities are very open, and what I have encouraged people to do in the past is, if you have an idea about any type of research that you're doing that you're feeling is incorporating or needs more support in purchasing a tool, or have the funding can help support education within the space of the digital technology that you're trying to do. So if it's a workshop or if it's a course that needs to be taken to better understand the tool, that would be a great thing for that project. So for AI, would give you the same advice to reach out to the team that we have, the digital scholarship team, and present your idea, and they're happy to kind of talk you through what would be available.
I have a couple of questions to the UTech. Different Chat GPT type of things available, like Chat GPT, Claude, and do you have any recommended one? Which one would? I tried two different things, same question, but the answer would be generated by in a different length and different way. So do you have a recommendation? Which one is more accurate? Accuracy-wise would be one thing. Also, could we purchase one? I'm paying right now individual pair, but for the academic things, for the entire CWRU, could we purchase one or subscribe one for the entire university? And the second question I guess I would have, right now I'm trying to do the neural networks, and setting up the workspace is a very challenging thing. Do you have someone to help in creating a, say, window-based platform or workspace for running neural networks or deep learning methodologies?
Sure, yeah. As far as recommendations on bots, it's always changing, right? So there are sites, people that rate them, and literally it can change from week to week in terms of which one performs better. It's sort of an arms race. So we do, again, the website will have a link to various bots and some information about each, but in terms of which is better, it will change all the time, and I think you just have to experiment. The one thing I would say is, again, we do have Copilot available for free, and it is a protected service, so again, it has data protection, and that is using the latest models from OpenAI, so it's using GPT-4 and GPT-4 Turbo. So definitely try that first and see if it meets your needs. Because it uses your login, it's protected, and it is using those OpenAI models, and they tend to be quite good. As far as sort of assistance, consultation on, like I forget what your training models or, so we do have that cross-functional UTech group now available that will meet with you and talk about what we have available in Azure, what we have available in AWS, and whether that might meet your needs. So I think the thing to do would be to email help@kside.edu, just explain a little bit about what you're trying to do, and then we would just reach out to you and have a consultation with you and talk about what we have available and see if we can do a match there.
Thanks, John. So one of the questions I get all the time, which I'd like you to handle for me, is the following. You have people who would like to be able to interrogate a set of PDFs. It's some dissertations or open access books or things they got from the library. They have the right to do it because they own it. And we don't want to send them off to do their own training of a model or fine-tuning of a model, or even RAG on Case HPC. One can go to like GPT-4 and use a GPT like AI PDF and just hand it up there. It'll vectorize it. You can talk to it. In Google Gemini Enterprise, you can put it into your cloud, and if you give it the right permissions, talk to it too. For faculty, staff, and students, can you give us the snapshot? What's available right now? If somebody walks up to me and says, "Hi, I just got this dissertation to read and I want to know what it's about. How do I chat with the dissertation? It's a PDF." Where does Case send them?
So brand new is that portal. That is, again, it's on the webpage. It's linked there. So that allows you to upload PDFs. I know that Copilot does not allow you to do that. It allows us images, but it does not allow PDFs. This chatbot that is hosted in Azure uses GPT-4, does allow you to upload PDFs and converse with it. Of course, you could also do it I think we probably will end up launching Microsoft 365 Copilot, which also has that capability. Again, that would not be free, right? Well, it's too expensive, honestly, for us to probably offer it for free. But that will be another option. Again, we'll probably make those licenses available for purchase this summer.
So there you have it. It's the portal.
Yep. And again,
Okay.
we will be improving that over time and probably launching a replacement, but that is there now. Yep.
Tron, can you mention its consumption base and some challenges around
For this portal, yeah, right now we're in the development phase. We are offering it at no charge, but again, all of these things are consumption based in the background, so we may eventually have to have a chargeback of some kind.
Okay, I want to thank Miro for organizing, Tron, Tina, and Jen for presenting and teaching us all quite a bit about what's going on here already. So in the interest of time, we're going to switch over to the last session of the morning. So thank you.